Welcome to yet another episode of Power of Three: Discover, Lead, Inspire, where we uncover the untold stories of inspiring individuals who have set the standards for excellence through their unwavering integrity, collaborative spirit, and visionary leadership. Welcome to the show, Chanakya.
Thank you, Meher, for the warm welcome, and really happy to be here today.
Lovely. Chanakya, you have had such an illustrious career journey. May I ask you to share with us some of the pivotal moments and experiences that have actually helped you shape your career, and today you're at a very good leadership position. What actually led you to here?
Thank you, Meher. Great question. I would say one of the most pivotal moments have been joining EY itself. More so from my diverse experience that I had before EY, I really realized what a fantastic culture that is available in EY and GDS. The whole value proposition really is something you can look up to whenever you are in doubt. So I would say joining EY was pivotal. Prior to EY, I used to work for the Tatas, and I would say I had a very great interaction with some of the senior leadership there. And one of the lessons I learned there was, I used to be the finance guy, the numbers guy, and my senior leadership told me, Chanakya, just don't look at the numbers, look at the story that the numbers bring together. And that's something I have kept in my mind for a very long time now. And I think it has really helped me shape my career. So when I bring the two together, the story that comes together and the values that come together, I think that has been extremely pivotal to whatever success I have had in my career journey, Meher.
That's a lovely answer, and an answer which I possibly wouldn't have expected out of a finance guy, because storytelling is usually seen as a very marketing forte, right? And a finance person telling about the numbers, the story that the numbers tell. So could you just tell us some experience of how your numbers have helped you tell that story?
That's very interesting, because when you look at the numbers, you look at the profit, you look at the sales, but what's the story behind that sales? Who is doing well? Which product is doing well? You might have, $1 billion in sales or $50 billion in sales. How did you get to that? Was it one product? Is it multiple products? Similarly with profit, how are you arriving at it? What's the margin behind it? All of this is storytelling. And then, like you said, we finance guys are equally good in storytelling when it comes to, conveying our story with numbers, Meher.
That's really a great answer and a very interesting one. So in the realm of leadership, Chanakya, what kind of proactive strategies do you actually implement in order to cultivate adaptability and innovation, and so that there is a continuous development and growth of your team?
Innovation is the hot topic these days, Meher. Everyone is talking about what innovation is, how we can innovate. But in my mind, innovation in simple terms is solving a business problem to make it either faster or better or more cost competitive. So in simple terms, that's what innovation is for us. But if you look at innovation, we really need to work hard, in terms of getting there. So we've got innovation labs within our analytics vertical, which really looks into the market to say what is the cutting edge that we can apply to our broader teams. We've got large teams, and looking at the demography of our teams, a lot of innovation comes from our younger team members, right? So they know the job day in and day out. They are better equipped to handle technology. And that's where our leadership team has to play a role in harnessing all of these ideas and then bringing them to the table and helping us execute those, right? So that's how we look at the two. But what we have been trying to adopt over the last 18 to 24 months is what we call a digital adoption index. which tells us where are we in our digital journey. It's easy to say we have automated, but what is the space that is still open for us? The digital adoption index helps us give us a sense check. Have we reached 515, or is there a way to go forward? So the digital adoption index has been extremely helpful in terms of measuring our innovation. But a crucial element of innovation is how do you look at your upstream and downstream processes and make sure what you innovate does not impact someone else in a negative way. That's where you look at partnering with your upstream, downstream processes, broader functions. Say within finance, we run a part of the process. How do you partner with the broader function to make sure that it's an end-to-end innovation? You're not solving one problem here and creating a problem for someone else. So it's a mix of multiple things. The labs help us stay relevant. The team helps us stay relevant, and then our leadership comes into play to say, okay, how do we execute this in mass?
That's very interesting. That brings me back to my next question. So as you've been talking, I realized that there is a lot of advent of technology within finance also. So how are you seeing the careers in finance evolve?
That's a very interesting question, Meher, and this is something I keep thinking about as well. Being a hardcore accountant, a qualified chartered accountant, you start talking about innovation and technology. And those are things we've not been taught, right? I mean, when we were doing our CAs, innovation and technology wasn't this fast. Right. So one important element is how are we upskilling ourselves as leaders, staying relevant, understanding the technology, what impact it can bring to our business. That's it's more crucial than actually executing the technology. We've got fantastic people across GDS and EY whom we partner with to execute. But as leaders and as finance, we need to have a good understanding of what's the impact of the technology on our business. How do we leverage that to enhance either our productivities, to enhance experiences, are the two crucial elements that we look for as finance.
So what kind of programs have actually you put in place so that the current finance team or the younger generation who's coming into GDS, that they actually develop and evolve into this digital finance people as such?
So there's an interesting term we use, digital natives.
Right.
We are not natives, we are learning technology, but our upcoming generations will be the digital natives. But if you look at EY, I think there is an EY badges platform which is available to all of us. That's a wonderful platform to really get involved with cutting edge stuff that's around the corner. It keeps getting upgraded. I recently did a badge on AI, and that's one area where you need to keep going back and checking how the badges are getting upgraded as we see more technology coming in. So that's the conceptual or the fundamental which is available to everyone. Within finance, we've also run something called the Knowledge Cafe, which is more an elective learning program. So we talk about new technologies, new courses, and it is run by our own team members. So we've got the subject matter experts coming in, sharing their knowledge with the team, to the extent where we also see if someone wants to execute on the technology lines, how are we training them? We've seen a lot of finance professionals move from finance to big data, move from finance to automation. And this Knowledge Cafe really helps us spot that talent, help them move into a career transition, say from a pure play finance role to a technology role. So lots of work being done there. But it's a culmination of making sure you identify the right talent who's interested to move their career needle, and then provide them with those learning programs so that we can upskill them. We're also thinking of the Skills Adoption Index. We are not yet there, but I'm sure over the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to look at how people have changed their skill sets, from pure play finance to something else, and how that is helping us bring more growth to our people.
Very, very interesting. Does it happen the other way around too, where people are moving out to newer technologies? And so have you also had people who have moved out from other streams into finance? that you have been able to develop and grow them?
I would say it's lesser, because finance, no one feels is a glamorous role, unfortunately. There's a joke that we only end up doing month-end closes, 1 month after the other. We don't open anything, we just close. But coming back to your question, we are seeing, at least, if not tech, but many other skill sets getting interested in finance. I think people are becoming more conscious about even personal finance and finance in general. And that is helping us attract people, whether it is from PMO skill set or from tax skill set. We're still waiting for someone from BMC to come to us and say, I want to be in finance, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Good. As a successful finance professional and as a leader who people look up to, what would your guidance be to people who are starting their careers in finance or people who are in mid-career? What would your advice be to them?
Sure, I would say first I will charge you for the advice. It won't be free.
Finance person,
you're right. I think the two crucial elements that have helped me through my career. One is knowledge, which is the domain knowledge of wherever you are. Just don't do it for the sake of doing it. Spend time, understand the domain, master the domain. The second would be teaming. It's very crucial, in your career to team with people, to network with people. There's always help available around the corner. At least in EY, I've never had a moment when you've asked for help and you've not got it. And that's something I keep telling my teams also, team well, ask for help where needed. Be there for someone. That's what I would say. Be there for someone is a crucial one.
I think that's a beautiful answer. You've just not spoken about just having that deep knowledge about the subject, but also of being that true human who's available for other people, where you're just not talking about the mind, but you're also talking about the soul. So it's only when your heart and mind come together is that you become a successful professional. Thank you, Chanakya, for joining us and sharing your experience. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Meher, and once again, thank you for having me.